Council, if you'll kindly rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and Melody Rowe will please lead us in that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Under announcements, the only thing I have are meeting dates, and that is February 9th. There is no meeting. Thursday, February 16th is a special council meeting. That's the public hearing, isn't it, Paul? Yep. And on our annual budget coming up. Thursday, February 23rd is a regular meeting. And March 9th is also a regular meeting, all at 7 p.m. here in the Matthew Thornton Room. Paul, you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Even though we've been getting some snow recently, Watson Park Skating Rink is still currently closed. We appreciate the cooperation of the citizens. If you have any questions about that, please contact Parks and Recreation at 603-882-1046. I've been asked to attend a VFW meeting on Friday, January 27th at 7 p.m. It's open to the public, and veterans and families are welcomed, 18 plus. It's basically what they asked me to do is there's a group of people for outreach for veterans, and they asked, what does the town provide for veterans? And I'll be going and talking about our exemptions, how to apply for our exemptions if you're a veteran, and tax credits and things of that sort. And we'll be, it's Friday, open to the public for any veteran. And it's really to talk about, 10 other organizations will be there with me to serve the veteran community. So if you're interested, please call the VFW post and they can give you more information about the events occurring this Friday night at 7 p.m. But I thought I'd tell the council that they asked me to go and talk on behalf of the town, and I accepted.
Can't do that. Next on the agenda is comments from the press and public. If you'd like to address the council, you can come to the mic or the table right here. And if you want, do you want to come during legislative updates? Because either way, but legislative updates is on the agenda. Perfect. All right, next on the agenda is recognition. The council to recognize Bill Cummings for his volunteer service to the town of Merrimack as the member of the town center committee. And if I could have Nelson will come up, and I'd like Nelson to have a few words as chairman of the town center committee. And Bill, if we could come up over here, that'd be great. If it's easy enough. Want to come over? You can sit down if you'd like. Prefer to sit down though? Yeah, okay. We'll come right over here.
Closer to me.
There we go. All right. Nelson, did you want to speak a few words before we present him with this plaque here?
Thank you for this opportunity, Finley. As chairman of the Town Center Committee, and Bill has been a member of the Town Center Committee for many years, and spark plug and coming up with ideas and helping us make things happen. So it's a great loss to us that he's retiring, but it's a well-earned retirement. And Bill has been a great asset to the town in many other ways as well. He was formerly very active in the Chamber of Commerce here in Merrimack, and lots of little things that Bill did as member of the Commerce and member of the committee of the community. He's been a great asset to the town. So we will miss him, but we thank him for all he's done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Nelson. I appreciate that. All right, Bill, on behalf of the town council, we'd like to present you with this plaque. And it's presented to Bill Cummings in recognition of your service as a member of the town center committee. in recognition of your dedication and commitment to public service during your appointment as a member of the Town Center Committee. Your service and devotion to the Town Center Committee has had a valuable effect upon this community. We wish to extend to you our sincere appreciation for your outstanding performance and duty from from June 2016 to January 2023. Thank you so very much, Bill.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, my friend. Okay. Well, we absolutely appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thanks, Emily.
Bill, I'd like to say that as an individual, I want to thank you for all that you've done for Merrimack. And I want you to know that the citizens of Merrimack appreciate what you've done. So we want to thank you for all that you've done all these years. And we hope you enjoy your retirement. It's a wonderful thing. Good, good. Thank you, Bill.
We have no appointments, no public hearings, legislative updates. Janine, if you'd like to come to the mic, you could do that, whichever one is most comfortable for you. Jeez, I don't know if you
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Okay. For the record, I'm Janine Nodder. I'm in my 7th term. I'm the senior member of the Merrimack delegation in the New Hampshire House of Representatives. I'm here tonight to, I think you already know, because a co-sponsor of House Bill 20 is to name a bridge in Merrimack after our late speaker, Richard Hinch. So they would like to have, the committee would like to have a letter of approval from the town council. And that's why I'm here.
Great. We will, Paul?
I took the liberty of writing a letter of
We gotta
approval.
get it together.
Dear Chairman McConaughey, thank you for the opportunity to provide comments regarding the naming of the bridge on Bedford Road after the Honorable Richard Dick Hinch. I'm writing on behalf of the Merrimack Town Council to support House Bill 20. The Town Council is in favor of fully support the naming of this bridge. Dick Hinch was a dedicated Merrimack resident who served the community as a chairman of the board for 3 years. He served on the ZBA and other committees. Dick was a state legislator for 7 terms and was named House Speaker. Dick had a tremendous impact not only in Merrimack, but throughout the entire state of New Hampshire. Dick brought honor and dignity to everything he did. Dick is truly missed, and by naming a bridge after him, his legacy will live on in the community he served with the utmost pride and dedication. Please feel free to contact me at 603-424-2331 if you have any questions or comments on the information provided in this letter. Sincerely, Finley Rothaus, Town Council Chair.
Gee, that's well written, Finley.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. That's efficient, Paul, I have to say. So there, do we need a vote on this, or we just,
It is not an agenda item, consensus by the town council right now. If a town councilor wants to pull this off and vote on it, it will delay the letter going
Yep,
up
no, we'll-
to the state until February 16th. The state is looking to expedite to legislate on this, so they can move it forward to the Senate so they can approve it and get the bill passed.
So you just need consensus.
Consensus.
Lon?
Would a suspension of the rules be in order?
Actually, it has to be posted as an agenda item 24 hours in advance, so,
So we're just saying, okay.
yeah,
We're good.
good,
Okay.
perfect.
And then I'm sure the representatives will be around, but if anybody would like to, they could donate to the cost of the plaques that are going up on either side of the bridge, which New Hampshire DOT has to approve. So they'll be looking for donations for those as well. The town of Merrimack would probably be doing the installation, so.
Very good. Great.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
May I say something? I was first elected in 2010, and my very first bill was to name the bridge at Exit 11 after Corporal Gibson. And I didn't know any of the protocol for that. It was a veteran, and I had to look it up because I didn't remember about the paying for the sign. It was a veteran in town, Gary Gahan, who paid for that sign. So, and the Gibson family was very grateful, as is Dick Hinch's family. And I will make sure that you all get an invitation. And plus, one of the co-sponsors is also a town councilor, so she will also remind you when we vote on the bill in
Absolutely.
the House.
We count on that.
You can be there. We'll acknowledge you in the gallery if you'd like.
Great. Thank you, Janine. Appreciate it.
I was just going to say that yesterday, it was an honor, I think, for all of us to present testimony. Representative Nodder, and then I did it, and Representative Boyd did as well. And they actually were going to, vote OTP right away, but they just needed the letter. They said, we don't like to tell towns, we don't want to approve something that the town may disagree with. So that was the haste in getting the letter back so it could happen. So I think there was no question that it was appropriate.
It's all signed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nell. Thanks, Janine.
Thanks, Gene.
Thanks for coming by.
Behave yourself, Bill. Or don't behave yourself, actually. Don't behave yourself.
Next on the agenda is
Just one thing on the agenda today, Salhegan River Trail pedestrian trail is back out to bid with a variable construction timetable. Bids are due on February 13th. And basically we're anticipating notice to proceed around April, completion around June of 24, with final completion before July of 24. And this is all part of that study and the funding that we got from those TAP grants way back when. It's 80% covered by the state, 20% by the town. We did get one bid just with the last time we went out to bid, and they have to be approved by the state as a contractor, and the company was not an approved contractor by the state. And when we were talking to other companies why they didn't bid, it was because we were locking them into such a tight timetable. So we said it could be a variable construction timetable, which means that they can come, do one section of it, pull out for a while, come and complete the rest of the sections of it, so that they are, because of the way their crews are set up with some of these companies, so, and some of the other projects they have going on. So that's out to bid, and that's all that I have.
Nancy.
I'm sorry, a bit out of order. I was just going to add something if we could under the state rep section.
Oh, sure.
Before, sorry. I just wanted to mention that yesterday, there was a hearing. I put a House Bill 614, and it was a bill supported by Department of Health and Human Services. We worked for a few weeks because we had some different opinions about how it should go forward, but it's a bill specific and will benefit Merrimack in that I had hoped that we could pass a bill that would require the Department of Health and Human Services to create a repository of health impact information here for the community. That wasn't really fully supported by DHHS, so I was concerned that it wouldn't necessarily go anywhere, and it was going to require an appropriation. So with some time, we agreed that given that on January 13th, the updated New Hampshire Cancer Report was presented to our PFAS Commission, and due to the excess number of kidney cases, the department is ready to move on to the phase 3 of that study, specific to Merrimack. It will benefit other communities based on the information that they glean, but this would require a feasibility study. And that feasibility study was one of the recommendations that came out of our PFAS Commission. So the bill is written to approve that, and it requires a $500,000 appropriation because the division doesn't have the expertise or the staff to actually do this. They need an academic research partner. So the bill was heard yesterday, had pretty good support, at least what we could see. There were no questions, which is always a good sign. We answered them all. And a number of people were there from the division to support this for Merrimack. So when it comes time for an exec session, it might be a good time for Merrimack residents to say, hey, yeah, we need this to happen. because we are disproportionately affected here by cancers, and it will also help delineate maybe some other cancers and health impacts. So I just wanted to, update people, and I'll let you know when I hear about a time. Maybe we could do some emails and just chime in. So thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. And Paul, you're all set?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we have nothing on the consent agenda nor under old business. Under new business, is council's to be presented with the Girl Scout Melody Rose proposed Girl Scout Gold Award project to build a permanent story walk along the trails from the west entrance to Veterans Park. Hi, Melody. And you just have, can you see that light? Melody, if the light will be lit up, there you go. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, my name is Melody, and today I'm going to talk to you about my idea for a permanent story stroll.
Pull it a little closer.
Closer.
Sorry about that.
There we go. Okay. Hi, my name is Melody, and today I'm going to talk to you about my idea for a permanent story stroll in Merrimack. So, I am a Girl Scout in Senior Troop 13912 here in Merrimack. I love reading. I do it every second that I possibly can. I'm a freshman at Merrimack High School, and I'm going to do the story stroll for my Gold Award. A Gold Award is the highest award that a Girl Scout can earn. It includes 80 hours where you're helping the community, and it's very similar to a Boy Scouts Eagle Award. I assume some people might have heard that more than a Gold Award. Sorry for the low quality on that picture, but a story stroll is a way to enjoy reading and being outdoors at the same time. So there's laminated pages from a book, and each one is attached to a post, which are installed along the trail. As you go down the trail, you read the pages of the book in order. The books usually have a story that involves movement so that children can, like, say, a rabbit hops and then hop to the next page. For my story stroll, I'm going to do it at Veterans Memorial Park. It would have 18 posts. Each would be about 20 feet apart along the trail. They would be made of pressure-treated wood for weather resistance. There would be a shade-friendly plant at the bottom of each post to make it a little more fun. And I've actually already talked to the library, and they're going to rotate the book choices
Very nice.
about every 3 months, so it's not the boring same old book the whole time. So for location, I already said I'm going to do it at Veterans Memorial Park, but I'm going to do it specifically at the west entrance, which the trail begins behind the playground. There's actually a previous temporary story stroll by Merrimack Public Library there. The benefits of my story stroll are getting families, specifically younger kids, to spend time outdoors, develop reading skills, and visit the park. For fundraising, I'm going to ask local small businesses like King Cone, Altitude, or Broadway Bound to each would sponsor a post. So they would pay for the materials to build the post, and then I would put a plaque with their name on it. So it would say, like, sponsored by King Cone. Phil P. from the Merrimack Lions Club already sponsored my first post.
Very nice.
So this is the total estimated cost, but I know prices fluctuate, and we did this research a little while ago, so it could be different. But the total then was $63.11. I'm not going to read all the supplies and the costs. But so for the timeline, in December, I received approval from council to do it. In January, I presented to Parks and Rec. In January, I am presenting to Town Council right now. February, I'm going to do fundraising. March and April, I'm going to finalize the book choices and laminate the pages so they're ready to go. Over the summer, I'm going to build the posts because I don't have school to get in the way. In late August, I'm going to install the posts and hopefully have a ribbon cutting ceremony to celebrate. Thank you for listening. I can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Melody. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Nancy?
What a great idea for children to learn some reading skills and exercise, and like you said, the outside too.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. It's really creative, and I can see changing the stories, and you could use it for other things down the road too. That
Yeah.
ability to, maybe games or something that, or find something in the woods and science kind of things.
Yeah.
So good for you. Thank you for thinking of that.
Thank you.
Barbara?
Great job. It was a beautiful presentation, and I want you to know we really appreciate it. And like Counselor Murphy was saying, it's a great idea, and I can't wait for the opening.
Thank you.
And I really applaud you digging all those post holes.
You're young. What?
I can't wait to participate.
Hopping and the skipping, or?
I don't know about the hopping and skipping. The idea of bringing that kind of experience with reading to any age group is just beyond whatever. It's just a beautiful idea, and I wish you all kinds of luck. I especially appreciated your comment about presenting it to the council now.
Thank you.
So, I just wanted to ask a few questions. Are you planning to do all this work yourself, or is your council or your troop gonna?
Yeah, my troop's gonna help me with some of it.
Okay. Have you ever done anything like this before? Installing
I
posts
haven't.
or any of that kind
Nope.
of stuff?
It's gonna be all
I'm very
new.
impressed at being a freshman in high school. You're at this point and this level in
Yeah.
Girl Scouts, and so you did do a wonderful job.
Thank you.
It does sound like a great opportunity. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all comes out, as opposed to just a post with something stuck on it. You showed a picture of a much more elaborate piece, and if you're going to talk about putting plaques and planting shade trees or whatever nearby, that all sounds very impressive.
Thank you.
So it's going to be nice. Thank you.
All right. Somebody failed at their job.
We're getting our name post because we don't know who we are. So excuse the interruption.
Andy?
If there's, that was a great presentation. I'll echo the comments from the other counselors. If somebody's watching tonight and they're interested in making a donation, is there a way that they can get into contact and do a donation? Is that,
I don't know. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
so contact the Merrimack Library?
Yeah,
Perfect. Thank you.
Very good.
That was a great question.
that was a good question.
Okay. What's the pleasure?
Need a motion to accept?
I believe we do.
I move that we accept the proposed Girl Scout Gold Award project as presented by Melody Rowe at tonight's meeting.
Second.
Motion by Tom, second by Barbara. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition or? 7-0-0. Thank you, Melody.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to seeing it.
Thank you. Do you need any signatures on anything, or?
No,
No? You're
I'm
good?
good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Good
Good luck.
Now I know who I am.
Oh, well. Good for you.
Who's Tom tonight?
Yeah, we could confuse people.
Yeah, just switch them all around. I keep waiting for somebody to switch them before we get here, and then we're all confused trying to figure out where to sit down.
Trust me, I thought about it.
All right. Next item.
He could do that.
Don't give him any
That's-
ideas.
No, that's only if she touches the thermostat. Next on the agenda, and under new business, item number 2, the council to consider the ratification of a tentative collective bargaining agreement for the International Association of Firefighters, IAFF Local 2904. And Paul, did you want to present these? Or?
Yes, I can present them. The town had a negotiating team of myself, Human Resource Director Sharon Marunich, and Attorney Anna Cole from our office. We sat down with the next 3 ratifications. We sat down with the union and negotiated 3 contracts for the town of Merrimack. IAFF Local 2904 contract has 36 members. Those are our local firefighter, paramedics, and AEMTs. There are some items that we worked on with them. There was a lot of give and take with both us and the union. We did a 3-year agreement with a 3% wage increase in the first year. We added some incentives that they would get that are normally part of their job. We rolled those into the hourly rate so that they're not additional incentives. We had raises, and then we had some steps because this is a step organization. Total cost in the first year is $154,367. Second year is a 3% wage adjustment. Total $106,788, and the third year was a 3% wage adjustment, and that's $100,613. Total cost of the contract for 3 years is $361,768.
All right. What's the pleasure of the council? Andy?
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion that the town council ratify the tentative agreement reached with the IAFF Local 2904 Firefighters Union, which includes a net cost of $154,367 in the first year, so the tentative agreement may be put on the warrant for voter approval at the town meeting.
Thank you. Andy, motion by Andy.
Second. Go with that.
Barbara. It's stereo. Second by Barbara. Any further discussion on the motion?
No further discussion.
Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed or abstain. That's 700. Next item under new business. Council will consider the ratification of a tentative collective bargaining agreement for American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. That's ASME 93, Locals 3657.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This union has 16 members, and these are the fire and police captains and lieutenants of the police and fire department. We increased the short-term disability from 600 to 700. We added a pay band in the fire department for a lieutenant paramedic and a captain paramedic. We rolled in their stipend that they were getting, which was a $3,500 stipend for that. We rolled that into their pay band. This is a 4-year deal. In the first year, we did a 3% wage increase. We also did a $2 adjustment to move our employees towards the average. We found that in this union, these members were well below the average of local communities that we compare ourselves to. So we started moving our employees towards that average. In the second year, it's also a 3% wage increase with a $1.50 adjustment for our fire captains to keep moving them towards the average. And in the third year, it's a 3% wage adjustment with a $1 per hour adjustment to continue with the fire captains, and a 50-cent adjustment for police captains and the lieutenants in the police department to also move them closer to the average. In the fourth year, it's a straight 3% wage adjustment. In the first year, the cost is $153,941. In the second year, it's $76,059. In the third year, it's $80,757. And in the fourth year, it's $62,039 for a grand total of $372,796. And once again, the members of the town's negotiating team were myself, Sharon Maroon, HR Director, and Anna Cole.
Thank you, Paul. What's the pleasure of council?
Mr. Chairman, I move the town council ratify the tentative agreement reached with the AFSC ME 93 Local 3657 Police and Fire Supervisors Union, which includes a net cost of $153,941 in the first year, so the tentative agreement may be put on the warrant for voter approval at the town meeting.
Second. Motion by Andy, seconded by Nancy Harrington. Any further? Oh, I got a second from Nancy already. Thank you, Lon. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed or abstained? That's 700. Thank you. And then next on the agenda, item number 4 under new business, the council will consider the ratification of a tentative bargaining agreement for American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, ASC 93, Local 2986.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a 40-member group, and these are our gentlemen who work at the Highway Division, the laborers at the Highway Division, Wastewater Division, Solid Waste Division, and the Equipment Maintenance. We also had a 3-year deal. One of the major factors in this is that currently they're without contract. And we came back and we negotiated a contract where we're looking at a 0% raise. However, we're moving the pay scale 2 steps. So what that is they have, I think, 7 steps in their pay range. So we're dropping the step 1 and step 2 out of the pay range, moving step 3 back down to step 1 in the first year, and then adding on the back end, because in the last 2 steps, we're adding 2.5% between those steps. In year 2, we slide the pay scale 1 more step. So we drop out the first step, move the second step to become the first step. We add a 3% difference between the 6th and 7th step. And we also give a 3% wage increase. In year 3, it's a 3% wage increase. The cost in year 1 is $162,748. Year 2 is $130,167, and year 3 is $82,414 for a total 3-year contract cost of $375,329.
Thank you, Paul. Pleasure of the council.
I'd like to make a motion.
Nancy.
I move that the town council ratify the tentative agreement reached with the AFSCME 93, Local 2986, Public Works Employees Union, which includes a net cost of $162,748 in the first year, so that the tentative agreement may be put on the warrant for voter approval at town meeting.
Motion by Nancy Murphy, seconded by Andy. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition or abstaining? It's 700.
I want to thank the negotiating teams for these unions. The discussions were respectful. We didn't always agree on stuff, but we always respected one another. And it was in my 18 years of sitting on these negotiations, this was one of the most respectful years with the union representatives and us in negotiating these contracts. So I do want to give my thanks and gratitude to the members of the union that were on their negotiating team as well.
Thank you much, Paul. All right, what I'd like to do without objection is move number 7 under new business up to right now so that we can get the chief home earlier. It's number 7, if without objection, that is. Seeing none, council to consider the acceptance and expenditure of a donation in the amount of $500 from the Harold Watson Foundation to the Merrimack Fire Rescue Department to be used towards the purchase of fire investigation tools and equipment pursuant to RSA 31:95B and Charter Article 8, Section 15. Hi, Chief.
Evening. Thank you, councils. Thank you for having us tonight. Yeah, we're, again, humbled and certainly gracious and thankful that someone thought of us and gave us a donation for us to use for, again, whatever we thought we could use it for. And we came to the conclusion that we'd like to improve our fire investigation team that we have and the tools and equipment needed to do that job function. So that's what we're going to use the money towards, is to purchase some new equipment for them to better investigate fires and anything else that we need them to do.
Excellent. Great. Anybody have any questions or thoughts? All right. What's the pleasure of the council?
Make a motion. I would like to move that the town council accept and expend a donation in the amount of $500 from the Harold Watson Foundation to the Merrimack Fire Rescue Department to be used toward the purchase of fire investigation tools and equipment pursuant to RSA 31:95-B and Charter Article 8-15, and for the town manager to be able to sign any and all documents.
Perfect the transaction. Second, second by Andy, was
By
it?
Andy.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstain? 700.
Council, thank you so much, and also thank you for moving the agenda right up. I appreciate it.
You know, I have to, Nancy was the one who said, hey, get the chief out of here. He looks tired.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thanks,
We
you
don't want
too.
you around.
Thanks, chief.
We know how long it takes.
All right, next under new business, council will consider the acceptance and expenditure of a donation in the amount of $5,000 from the Harold Watson Foundation to the trustees of the trust funds Watson Scholarship Account to be used towards 5 separate Merrimack High School scholarships pursuant to RSA's 31:19, 31:95B, and Charter Article 8, Section 15.
This is something new that the council is getting involved in, is accepting these donations. I've had lengthy discussions with the Attorney General's office and our attorneys, going back and forth. This began with one of the other trustee donations that we got. Basically, the Attorney General's office said any new money going into any of these scholarships or funds has to be approved by the legislative body. The legislative body in the town of Merrimack for accepting donations is the town council. So the town council will have to accept these donations like we accept any other donation that we get. If Franklin Savings Bank wants to give us $5,000, we have to hold a meeting. It's the same thing with this. Barbara Watson has been very generous this year between this donation, the next donation, and the fire donation throughout this year, but she's also been very generous in previous years. This is something new that going forward, the council will have to approve, is the trustee of trust funds donations.
All right. So, the pleasure of the council on this?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion. Move the town council to accept and expend a donation in the amount of $5,000 from the Harold Watson Foundation to the trustee of trust funds Watson Scholarship Account to be used towards 5 separate Merrimack High School scholarships pursuant to RSA 31:19, 31:95-B, and Charter Article 8-15, and authorize town manager to sign all necessary documentation.
By Andy, seconded by Barbara. Any further discussion on the motion? I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed or abstain? 700. Next item, number 6, under new business. Council to consider the acceptance and expenditure of a donation in the amount of $1,000 from the Harold Watson Foundation to the trustees of the trust funds Watson Scholarship Account to be used towards the James Mastrocola Upper Elementary School Lego teams pursuant to RSA's 31:19, 31:95B, and Charter Article 8, Section 15. Same thing.
Could I please say so moved, since it's exactly the same explanation as previously?
And
Moved by-
authorize the town manager.
And to author,
Yeah.
and to authorize documentation, authorize you to sign any documentation necessary.
Second.
Nancy,
Nancy
motion by Nancy, second by Nancy.
Nancy squared.
So I just
Harrington
have a
agreed.
question.
Sure, yep.
This
Yes.
this is not a scholarship per se. It's a school-funded thing. Why is that
Lego.
coming to the town trust fund?
That's a good question.
Because the money goes into the, Harold Watson's fund goes into the trustee of trust funds, and the school would go in and request the money from the trustee of trust funds.
It's going into the
Lego.
scholarship account.
Yes, school scholarship account for the use of for the Lego team.
Wouldn't it normally just go to the schools to be accepted as a donation towards the Lego team, or?
Because of the way that the Harold Watson Fund is doing it, she's giving the money to the trustee of trust funds to,
It just puts another person's hands on it.
yes. Yes. That's how they,
No, I mean,
she
the
sent
school
it,
receives donations all the time.
right, but because of the trustee of trust funds, she sent the money through the trustee of trust funds for this specific purpose. Town council has to accept that. If she would have sent it directly to the schools, we would have not been involved in accepting that. The school would have been involved in accepting it
It's because it went into the fund.
because it's going into the trustee of trust funds.
All right.
I hope the Lego team enjoys. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it is one. Have you ever dealt with it?
No,
Oh, it's great.
$1,000 in Legos? Sounds like
Well,
a good time.
That's not much, trust me.
No, it isn't.
No, the Lego program is the Lego program that, as I was involved with it with my sons, is an awesome program. It's not going out and buying Legos, but it's actually taking on a challenge to use some Legos and some computers to actually perform functions on a table in a competition. It's a preliminary, I think it's a preliminary to the first competition that they hold at the high school.
Sounds like a cross between Legos and robotics.
Exactly.
Nice.
That's it. No, we haven't.
Not yet.
I don't think we have a motion yet.
Yes, we do.
You do have a motion.
Nancy,
And we
Nancy?
have a second.
I'm sorry. Okay. And I was thinking it was almost from the last one, so. All right, if there's no further discussion on this motion, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed or abstain. 700 again. Thank you so much.
We're a cooperative group tonight. We're gonna have to
Always.
break that.
No.
That's gonna change real quick. No.
All right. Next, under new business, the council review and consider the approval of the online privacy policy agreement. And here this evening is Nicholas.
Nick's before you to have a online privacy policy agreement that he drafted. Basically, this agreement is for since we have expanded our programming, and Nick has done a great job in expanding the programming with online and trying to get us onto platforms. Some of the platforms need this, and I'll let Nick take it from here, but that's basically the genesis of why we need this policy is because of as we expand our programming capabilities and into certain platforms, they're looking for this privacy policy.
I know.
Thanks for having me, Nicholas LaValle, your media services coordinator. Just a brief description as to what a privacy policy is. It exists to inform a user on what specific information is being collected, whether it's kept confidential or shared with partners or sold. Our vendor for this project, this is a project of, relative to our branded dedicated streaming app, which I've been talking about for just about a year now, which is part of the budget year that we're currently in. The vendor on the project is Tightrope Media Systems. They're serving as the developer for this branded app. And Tightrope needs to submit the app to 5 different platforms, including Apple, Android, Roku, and Amazon Fire. All of these platforms require a privacy policy being stated on our website, the Merrimack TV website, or any other community TV that is offering the same app. So this was drafted with Tightrope with some changes made, obviously, that are relevant to the town of Merrimack. What they explained to me was that it's a standard practice to ensure that we're not collecting data. And if we were to do that, that we're not selling it. Not all the platforms necessarily review the privacy policy. Surprisingly, Apple is the only one that has human eyes that review this sort of thing, but it is necessary to have listed on our website in order for our branded app to be approved and exist on all those platforms that I just mentioned. This document went Paul submitted it to legal counsel, and it was sent back saying that it was good, with one exception, just outlining the RSA relative to the right to know law. Otherwise, again, it's a standard privacy policy that other community TV facilities, stations have on their website and have the same branded app as well. Locally, Bedford TV is probably the closest to us that has this very same privacy policy.
Very good. Barbara?
Don't want to put you on the spot, but did legal say that they were okay with the section regarding the EU? Because EU countries such as France, Spain, the Netherlands, they all have their own privacy policies in addition to that overarching policy of the EU. And some of them are not crazy about the idea about sending personal information outside of their country to the point where you have to store it in country. So I was just curious about that. Not that it's probably an issue for what we're doing and what people would see or share on our app, but I was just curious about their thoughts on that, if they had any.
They didn't have any thoughts on it. They basically came back and just had two things that Nick talked about. The big thing and the big point is that we are not collecting people's data at all.
Okay.
We're not collecting IP addresses. We might go out and send out a survey and saying, hey, do you like Merrimack High School basketball games on this platform? Something of that sort, but we're not collecting any information of these people. We're not going to be like, if you play Candy Crush or you go on Facebook and you click on an ad and next thing you know, you get bombarded by woodworking ads. We're not collecting that data to do that. What we're doing is just saying, hey, this is our privacy policy. We're not collecting any of your data. Enjoy your entertainment and enjoy watching. But to answer your question, yes, they didn't have anything with that.
From what I understand, the only data I can see from users that use our streaming platform the way it exists now is just how many people are watching. And I can only access that data as the meeting is happening or as the program is happening. So, for instance, if I were to go on to our server tonight and see how many people are watching Channel 20, this town council meeting.
100.
Sure. Sure. Well, we have had several hundred people watching meetings
Certainly
before.
Yeah, about 2006 time, right?
Certainly during the height of the pandemic and as school was back in session, we had several hundred people watching school board meetings. That's not to say no one's watching these town council meetings, because they are. But that's really the only data that I can see from anyone using the streaming platform is just if anyone is watching. And it's just a number.
So, Nicholas, you mentioned the right to know law. How is that involved in this? And
I think it had to do
why does
with
anybody care?
again, most of this is just super general in nature. That's the impression that I got from Tightrope Media Systems. But under the disclosure of information, Merrimack TV may not use or disclose the information provided by you except under the following circumstances, as required by law, including but not limited to. That RSA right there is the right to know law.
So if
Or
somebody
in
says,
response to
There's
a
something
search
out there
warrant.
that says the RSA for right to know.
That was the part that our legal counsel advised.
I'm sorry.
Say-
Is there anything in here about the right to know law?
There is,
And where?
under disclosure of information.
Okay.
It doesn't say
one?
right to know. It's those lines. I don't know if they're
As
all.
required by law or in response to a subpoena or search warrant or what? I don't see anything that says right to know law.
Oh, I'm looking at an updated one.
what's going, what do you,
I mean, you gave us.
Does it say on yours, Nicholas? Does it specifically say RSA 90?
The
Anyone?
updated policy. Yep. The only change. This would be the only change that would be different from the copy that you received. Under disclosure of information as required by law, comma, including but not limited to RSA 91A.
Okay, we don't have that.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Okay, gotcha. So that's the only difference.
Okay.
Save the
I
tree
just
without
haven't
the
seen
update.
anything in it about right to know law. I was wondering why you were even mentioning it. Because
And that's
you
why.
didn't give us that information. Somebody
Understood.
didn't give it to us.
Okay. Say again.
Would it be amenable to table this item and bring it back the next meeting with the completed draft form?
Well, for me, I'm only speaking for me, it's up to the council, whatever you would like. It's just those words
I
added,
understand.
but for me, that's an easy insert, but, whatever everybody would like to do.
If you'd like to recess for 3 minutes, I can get you the documentation. I'll make copies of it
Want
and
that?
bring it up.
Do you want to get the actual sheet?
He said if we recess for 3 minutes, he can get us the actual updated
Or
copy.
just take a few,
That's fine. We don't have to recess. If the council's comfortable with it, I'm okay with it.
I am, but I just,
I'm comfortable as well.
As long as the motion states with the corrected data in it, that we'll accept it.
So why don't we
with the
take a
corrected-
3-minute recess? We'll get the updated documentation, and we can make a clean motion.
Oh, there's Sharon.
Okay.
Oopsies.
Is that a motion? Do I need a?
We need a motion to recess?
we'll recess for
Yeah,
3
motion.
council minutes.
Chairman can just call a recess. Just call a recess. Oh, you did, okay.
RSA should be listed as 91-A. It says 910A right now, so. Yeah.
We'll come out of recess. We've gotten an update on the online privacy policy agreement. And it does,
It's not 910.
Right, it's
Right, it should-
91:A.
Mine says 910A.
Right. That's a typo. It should be 91A.
91:A, yep. All right. What are the thoughts from the council? Anybody?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, the town council approve the online privacy policy as submitted with the one correction, and that is under disclosure of information. It should read as required by law, including but not limited to RSA 91:A, or in response to a subpoena or search warrant.
Motion by Andy, seconded by Barbara. Any further discussion on the motion? None, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? That will be 700. Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nicholas.
Thanks.
Sorry to make you run.
It's all good. We'll have to get a faster printer.
All right. Is Jody here this evening? Okay, next item, under new business, final item under new business, the annual craft fair was to be held on May 13th from 10 to 5 at the Merrimack Premium Outlets. The presenter isn't here this evening, so I don't know.
She requested it to be put on the January 26th meeting. We had correspondence with her from my office, giving her the minutes that's basically stated last year that there was a one-time exemption for the craft fair. She came in on basically end of May, end of April for May with it, and she found out at that time that we were supposed to be charging her all along and her vendors all along the fee. And the council gave her the one-time exemption for a dollar amount. And we sent that off to her and told her that this year she would have to be paying it. She wanted to come back in front of the council. She's not here tonight for that. It says in the minutes that I was supposed to bring the updated policy back to the council. I started working on the updated policy. It's sitting on the corner of my desk. As I started to do that, we started to get into the season where Anheuser-Busch was having a lot of events every weekend, and a lot of events were occurring. So at that time, I made a decision not to change the policy because Anheuser-Busch was following their vendors were following it. We had several vendors calling us up, coming in saying, I'm doing this event. Here's my money. Here it is. They were following the policy as written. The couple of changes that we were going to propose in the policy really wouldn't affect the craft fair that's going to go on Mother's Day. It's more for somebody who does several events in the town. We would give them a yearly pass where if they want to be at Anheuser-Busch and then the Outlet Mall and then XYZ location throughout town, that would be more of the yearly pass versus a specific location yearly pass. So that's what we were looking at changing. It is on the corner of my desk. I can bring it forward in the next couple weeks, probably at end of February. I can bring in for the first read at that time, and we'll have February, March, and it'll be ready to go for this upcoming season.
All right.
I don't know why she isn't here. She didn't call my office. She was told that she'd be on the next council meeting on the 26th.
All right. Guess then we'll move on. Unless somebody has
Move to table.
motion to table by Tom and seconded by Barbara. All those in favor of the tabling motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 700. Under minutes, the January 5th, 2023 minutes. Paul, yes.
So it's tabled until she decides that she wants to bring this back.
So she wants to bring up the discussion, yeah, not to a date certain, so it's done. She can come back and start over.
Okay, that's, I understood.
Yeah.
I just wanted to,
Yep.
if she calls the office, she has to request it to come back.
Yeah.
And actually show up.
Reapply.
But we are going to move forward with bringing the policy, the updated policy
At the
forward.
end of February, beginning of March.
All right. Also for the minutes of January 5th.
I move that the council approve the minutes of January 5th with the following change. Line 25 on page 2. In the middle of there, it says 800 MGHZ system, and I think they mean a megahertz, which would be MHZ. There's no G involved. That was the only change I noticed.
With correction.
Motion by
made the
Tom,
motion, I second.
seconded by Nancy Harrington. Are there any further corrections? See none. All those in favor of the minutes for January 5th, 2023, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? 700. Comments from the press? No press. Comments from the public? Comments from the council? Dr. Woods?
Seeing none, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion by Lon, seconded by Barbara. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? 700.
Everyone was
Thank-
loud on that.
Thank you very much.